Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Story, and I am back with a whole new podcast episode. Today, we are reading Reddit stories all about boyfriends.
Was your boyfriend that never let you go? I could take you places you ain't never been before.
Good boyfriends, bad boyfriends, your boyfriend, my boyfriend, everything in between. So if you like hearing relationship drama, specifically the type that is found on Reddit, then this is definitely the place for you to be. Let's address the elephant in the room really quick. Yes, it's Wednesday. I know. You guys are thinking, is it too good to be true? Grace posted on Wednesday? Are you kidding? No way. Yes. Hi. How are ya? So, a long time ago, like a while ago, I can't even tell you how long, I used to post Sundays and Wednesdays, and then I ended up like traveling for my job and all this stuff. So I kind of took a break and just did Sundays, knowing that eventually I would come back. So I'm going to try my best to come back and do Sunday and Wednesday episodes twice a week. But I think it's still kind of going to depend on like my schedule and how burnt out I am and things like that. So let's consider Wednesdays like bonus episodes. I'm going to try and do them every single Wednesday, but if they don't come out, I'm probably sick somewhere or have a really like crazy something that I need to get done. And I promise you, I will make up for it. I promise. So yeah, we are going to still be doing Sunday episodes. Count on those every Sunday and then most Wednesdays. But if you like Reddit stories, if you like stories in general, if you like hearing the tea, but you don't like being a part of the tea, welcome. You have found your people. That's me. I'm a nosy bystander. I love hearing all about the drama. Don't love being in it. So that's why I love Reddit so much. I think that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, all the things. It takes 0.2 seconds, helps me make my dream come true, is absolutely free. And you would be the nicest, coolest, kindest person in the world. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in and talk all about boyfriends.
I'm Grace Story, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now.
So all of these, as per usual, are from Best of Redditor updates because conclusions are everything around here. Can't handle the uncertainty of not knowing. So yeah, this first one is titled, My 27 female boyfriend, 27 male, kissed someone else at his work Christmas party. I'm not sure what to do about our relationship now and could use some advice. Bestie, I think I know what you should do about your relationship, but we're going to read anyway and see. This was posted on Best of Redditor Updates 4 days ago, but was originally posted December 16th, 2019. Dating for almost 2 years, a long-distance relationship based in Europe. No possibility of closing the distance in the near future, but we saw each other almost every weekend. For some context, I'm currently in my home country in Asia for the first time in 3 years. My estranged father passed away a few weeks ago, and I'm here to handle his estate. I'm sorry about that, bestie. That's never easy. So we are currently in different time zones, and I wasn't around for the party in question, which I did go to last year. 2 days ago, my boyfriend, whom we'll call Dick, went to his Christmas party. All right. He texted me around 10 p.m. to say he loved me and wished I was there. Around 4 a.m., I had a call from him, which I didn't take because I was asleep. Honestly, valid, same. Well, I don't know. I'm a light sleeper, but I also love my sleep, so there better be an emergency. When I called him back the next day, he told me he got extremely drunk and kissed another girl whose face he doesn't remember and whom he did not find attractive. He remembers flashes of the kiss. His coworker saw him and told him what happened. Okay, I already don't like that. I mean, that could very well be the truth, but my BS radar is going off slow. As long as I've known Dick, he's had a very hard line stance on loyalty. We've always said cheating was a deal breaker. When I had doubts about our relationship, I fell back on the blind trust that we had in each other. That makes this worse. I mean, how many times, though, has someone's like partner been doubling down on them about cheating and accusing them of cheating and talking about cheating is bad and like obsessing over it? And then they've actually been the one cheating, like the one who was saying that it's really bad. So I'm just saying you can't trust anybody. Ever. Apparently. That's what Reddit has told me, at least. Dick is very contrite in saying all the right things. He says he wants to work on our relationship and that he's willing to do anything to make it better again. I love him a lot, but I don't know what to do here. I feel quite heartbroken, but at the same time, part of me wonders if it's ridiculous to feel this way over a drunken kiss. So I'm looking for advice from people who have been in similar situations. How do you go about deciding what to do? Is it possible to rebuild trust in a relationship like this? Okay. Honestly, I know everybody's different and everybody's hard lines are different with cheating, but mine is you can't come back from cheating. Like, once you cheat on someone, you're donezo. Like, that relationship is donezo. That's just my personal belief. Like, if I were dating someone and they were to cheat on me, we're donezo. But I will say the whole, oh, I got drunk and cheated thing, I don't think that that's ever a valid excuse because, I mean, I've been pretty drunk in my time, like in my college days. And I've never been so drunk that I forgot I was dating my boyfriend and thought it was okay to kiss someone else. Like, that's a morality issue. That's not a alcohol issue. When you get drunk, do you also want to do really bad things that are not morally correct? I don't think so. Like, no, you should still be a good person whether you've had alcohol or not. I don't think that's ever an excuse for cheating. I'm just saying, like, even on my most blacked out situations back in the day, do as I say, not as I do. Don't do that. Um, Never. And like my friends and I have had this conversation because obviously when we were in college and we were talking to boys who maybe we shouldn't have been, like they would cheat on us when they were drunk and we'd be like, I've never once felt this way. Ever. When I've been drunk, have I been like, oh yeah, it's okay to cheat on? No. So I don't understand people who say that. I think it's such a dumb excuse. Relevant comment. The part that's most effed up to me is that he did this while you were overseas attending to difficult family matters. Even if you were estranged from your father, I'm still sure it must be very difficult to go through that. It makes me think, where is his empathy? Like if my partner were to go through a really difficult, stressful situation, I don't see myself getting wasted and feeling like celebrating to that level. I agree. Like I would try to do everything I can to go with them. And time, like things happen where you can't get off work or whatever, but I wouldn't be out celebrating, I don't think. I do know people that would do that though. Like, I don't think that him going to the Christmas party is necessarily the issue because like, if I were somewhere and my boyfriend was here and he had a Christmas party and say that I was going through something horrible, I wouldn't tell him he couldn't go to the Christmas party. I would probably encourage him to go. Be like, yeah, no, go have a good time. Like, I'm overseas. It's not like you could really talk to me anyway, like different time zones and everything. So I don't think that him going was necessarily the issue. I don't know if drinking is considered celebrating. We usually drink when we were having low days, bad days. We'd be like, hey, let's go out for a drink. So I wouldn't necessarily be like, oh yeah, he's celebrating because he went to a Christmas party and drank. But the cheating is where my problem is. Like, there's a hard line there. You can go to the party, you can partake in the festivities, as long as those festivities aren't cheating on your girlfriend. Also, why was he getting so wasted that he couldn't control his actions, period? Very immature and questionable behavior. Over drinking happens to everyone sometimes, but doing so to the level of not even knowing what you're doing, that's kind of extreme. Exactly my point. Some people may say this is bad advice, but what if you ask him for a hall pass? You don't even have to use it if you don't want to, but if he says yes, then I think it's a sign that he's truly sorry. I think that's a sign that he wants to have an open relationship. But I mean, hey, we can have different takes on the situation. That's cool. It might even help him learn his lesson and force him to empathize with what you're going through. I never want to get even with somebody. Like, I never want it to be like, hey, you did this, so I have a hall. No, you shouldn't want to cheat on each other because you love each other. And if he says yes, I think that he's like, oh, yeah, like, we can go see different people, and this could work out in my favor. Like, I don't ever think a hall pass is a good idea. I think that just not cheating to begin with, And then, like, if you do cheat, maybe showing your loyalty. Like, it's so hard for me to imagine because I would just never, anytime anyone's ever cheated, it's been like, no. But I wonder, like, if I could try and put myself in those shoes, I guess, like, I would want someone to show they were loyal to me, not offer me a hall pass, or vice versa. Like, if I were to ever ask someone for a hall pass, I feel like it would be like a test of their loyalty. And then if they said yes, I'd be like, okay, we're done here. Because that's a red flag, I don't know. Bottom line, you can definitely come back from something like this if you want to, but maybe take a good look and see if you want to. That's the thing, is like, this is so dependent on the person and like their values and like your specific relationship. Like, how long have you been together? You might have mentioned that. 2 years. But like, say you were married for 30 years, you're probably going to handle this differently than if you've been dating for 2 years. So I know people that have gotten over cheating. They're happy as can be now. Like, I genuinely think it just comes down to you and what you're willing to put up with and work through in your own relationship, like where your line is. So OOP responded to that and said, your comment made me realize I rarely ever called my partner for support since I've been back home. And then they responded to that and said, what do you like about him? If I don't feel emotionally supported by someone, I'm honestly just not even interested. OOP said, I mean, when you put it like that, it seems so simple. Things may have not been good between us for a while, but the last 2 months have been extremely hard. Since my dad died, it seems like Dick has taken every opportunity to make things more difficult. So at some point, I just stopped relying on him for support. That's effed up. And then OOP also responded to another one where a commenter said something about the girl the boyfriend kissed. And they said, thanks for commenting. He didn't talk her down. I asked if he was attracted to her. In my mind, it would be a bit less pointless if he was genuinely into her. She's not his colleague, but rather a friend of his colleague. So he won't see her again, but that's a small comfort to me right now. I thought he said he didn't even remember who it was. I don't know. I think that when you are trying to lean on someone emotionally, or you expect to lean on someone's emotionally and the signs aren't there, like he's just not checking on you or making you feel emotionally supported, you're not going to go out of your way to reach out for it. Like, it's exhausting when you're going through grief or something hard or stressful. Like, it is exhausting. So I doubt that you went out of your way, if he's not even giving you any sort of emotional support, to seek that from him. And I think that when there isn't emotional support in a relationship, it's like that where the light just switches off. Like, the relationship is like not there. Like, there's just not love or support, and you can build it back up. But when you don't have the emotional support, it's like, no, there's something missing here. So the update is from 3 months later, March 11th, 2020. So we all know what was happening then.
A Corona and palm trees.
So they linked the original post and they said, I somewhat pointlessly deleted the post a few days later. I also dumped him over the phone around the same time, although we met after that and ended it in person at the start of the year. Oh, I'm also 28 now. Oh, it sounds like things are looking up. It's 3 months later and I'm doing pretty good. I've been spending a lot of time on my hobbies and with my friends. It's lovely to be thinking only for myself. I'm dating again, although nothing serious. My anxiety is under control, and this is the least depressed I've been in at least a year. Hilariously enough, my ex later emailed me to say that he had forgiven himself for kissing someone else, that his coworker had actually been impressed at his amazing willpower for not having kissed this girl sooner in the evening. Are you serious? Are you serious? Put money in the jar for that. That is an insane. Go to no. That is insane. The audacity. I cannot describe the wave of relief that I felt when I read that and knew I was no longer dating someone who would feel the need to tell me that. With a little distance and clarity, I can see that I was in a borderline bad and imbalanced situation. He had been singularly unsupportive in the days following my father's passing. It didn't mesh with my image of him, and so I tried to make excuses. Didn't mention any of it in the original post so as to not bias people against him. But when I put it all on paper for myself and came clean to my friends, I realized I didn't have to kill off the remaining vestiges of my self-esteem and be miserable with this man for any more time. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's important to be critically honest. It's important to remember the sunken cost fallacy, and it's important to tell your friends the truth so they can tell you if someone is treating you badly. It's easy to forgive someone when you love them and don't believe they could ever hurt you. It's hard to see outside the little world of a relationship. I needed to hear this, so maybe someone reading this does too. It's okay to end it and move on and be fine afterwards. It's good. That is so true. Like, I know a lot of people who say, well, I've already spent this much time with them. And it's like, yeah, but that's not as long as your entire life. So why would we make it any longer if you're not happy? My update is longer than my original post, but people gave me really good advice. And I wanted to let you guys know what happened. I really want to say thank you to Not Impress of the Night, who is the relevant comments I read to you guys, for words that I read over again, and everyone else who took the time to tell me what they thought. It helped me make the right decision. And then their TLDR just says, boy bye, queen. Final comments. Someone said, my ex later emailed me to say that he had forgiven himself for kissing someone else and then his coworker, and says that whole sentence. LOL, that might be the funniest thing I've ever seen on this sub. Good riddance. And then OOP said, worth dating him just to have to read that email, to be honest. That's crazy. So I feel like that one really speaks for itself, but I want to know your comments on all of these. Like, I'm telling you my thoughts. I'm spilling all of the tea, giving you unfiltered, unsolicited advice. So I want to hear yours. Let me know your thoughts on all of these down below. And if you want more stories, maybe some crazier ones, then give us a like, a follow, subscribe, all the tea. This one is from 3 days ago, and it is titled, one of my 24 female best friends, 25 female, cheated on her boyfriend, 26 male, over the weekend. They're now engaged, and he doesn't know. This poor boyfriend slash fiance. So the original post was from March 31st, 2016. Throw away for obvious reasons. I introduced one of my best friends, let's call her Kiana, to one of my good friends, Mason, 3 years ago. They instantly hit it off and were an I am in no time. To me, it always seemed like they had a good relationship. They started getting serious, bought a condo together, and just adopted a dog from the local shelter last month. On Saturday, Kiana and I went out dancing with some of my colleagues from work. We were all pretty tipsy, and Kiana said she had to go to the bathroom, so I went to the bar to get some drinks. After about 10 minutes, my colleague asked, "Where's Kiana?" I scanned the bar to find her talking to this guy. Kiana is pretty flirtatious when she drinks, but as I was walking towards her, I saw her lean closer to the guy and start making out with him. Oh. I stood there in shock, but after regaining my composure, I made it over to her and said we needed to talk. I asked what she was doing, and she said, "It's nothing, just heat of the moment. Please don't tell Mason." I'm pretty pissed and told her that was a shitty position she had put me in. She said she had to go to the bathroom, then asked if we could go home right after. I went over to say bye to my other friends when I noticed her leaving the bathroom line and walking over to that same guy again. They were on the other side of the bar, so I started making my way over again when they left. I began calling her phone and she ignored me, and just as I got outside, she was getting into a cab with this guy. I was seething. Yeah, straight to jail. Straight to jail. She clearly does not care. I tried calling her again and left her a couple of texts and voicemails asking her to call me as soon as she could, so I knew she was safe. That was my first priority, to make sure she wasn't going home with some creep. Then I would talk to her about cheating. She finally got back to me at around 5 a.m. Sunday morning, texting me that she was safe and she needed to talk to me. I received that text when I woke up around 9 and told Kiana to come to my apartment. She was over in about a half an hour, asked if she could borrow a change of clothes, and then started crying. She said she slept with that guy last night and instantly regrets it. Oh, she instantly regrets it? You literally tried to prevent it from happening and she ignored. But now she regrets it? No, she just wants help cleaning up the mess that she made. She knew she was making it. You told her it was going to happen. Kiana said that she missed having other men attracted to her, so she gave in to the temptation. I told her that even though it was hard, she needed to tell Mason. She said she would and thanked me for not judging her too harshly. I said what she did was wrong and it was unfair to make me choose sides, but Mason is also my friend and most importantly her boyfriend, so he deserves the truth. A few days passed without word from Kiana. Yesterday evening, she texted me saying, "Mason proposed." I said yes. That's it. That's all she said. I sat and stared at the text for a few minutes. Then she calls me, squealing with excitement, and gave me the details of the proposal. I then asked her if she told him about what happened last weekend. She said she didn't and couldn't now or it would ruin their engagement. She then said her mom was calling her, so she hung up. Girl, oh my God. I just, the lack of, care, the lack of empathy. She's like, well, it'll ruin the engagement. You're gonna ruin this man's life when you do tell him. What, we're just gonna wait 30 years? No, you need to tell him the sooner the later. You should have told him before you proposed. It was a few days. You definitely had time. I haven't heard from her since yesterday evening, but she is already posting her ring all over social media. That's a bold thing to do if you haven't talked to him. But clearly she's not planning to. I love Kiana to death. We have been friends for over 10 years, but I can't help but be angry at her for not only cheating, but for hiding it from him and accepting a proposal. That's what I'm saying. Imagine the bachelorette trip if that was what she was doing just on a night out. I get the sense that she is insecure, which is why she sought validation from some random dude at the bar instead of her boyfriend, who is now her fiancé. She put me in such an awkward position. A part of me says I need to stay out of it, not ruin my friendship with her, as this is none of my business, but I can't get the image of her kissing that guy and leaving in a cab with him. Mason deserves the truth, too. I've also been cheated on before, so I know how it feels. I don't want to ruin anything, but the weight of this situation is killing me, considering I'm the only one who knows what happened. What do I do? I mean, do you want to be friends with someone who acts like this? I feel like that's just, I don't know. When someone cheats and is willing to, do that and cause that much drama, maybe I'm just really strict on, who I am around and, my friend group, but I just feel like that's a sign of really bad morals, and I wouldn't want to be friends with this person. He deserves to know. You have to tell him. Who cares about your relationship? I know she's your best friend. I've had best friends that were terrible people, and it was a tough pill to swallow, and I still miss them, but I'm like, dang, you were not a great person, and I shouldn't have ever been hanging out with you. You don't have to go that far, but I'm just saying. Relevant comment. The first one says, what the F? She didn't tell him despite promising she would. Then he proposed. Then she accepted. And she had the gall to brag about this to you? Here's the conversation I would suggest you have with her. You need to tell Mason what happened. If you don't, I'm going to. Although personally, I would just go tell him directly. She had a chance to do this and she went completely in the other lying direction. If you give her opportunity, she'll probably lie repeatedly and do everything she can to throw you under the bus because she's proven she's a person with no morals whatsoever. If it were me, I'd risk the friendship ending and tell Mason. Honestly, I wouldn't want to be friends with somebody who could do that anyhow. Remember, she may be putting him at risk of STDs at this point with her dishonesty. Literally, my thing is, like, I wouldn't want to be directly involved, but also, oof. So, yeah, I maybe tell him and be like, listen, you didn't hear it from me. I don't know. Like, you definitely should tell him. I'm just trying to think about the best way to do that. Because, yeah, if you tell her she needs to tell him, she's going to make you the villain. OOP responded and said, I think that's what I need to do, not only from a moral standpoint, but also because of potential health risks. I was so upset when I saw her that I didn't even ask if she bothered to use protection. You're right, he deserves to know, and it would probably be wise if I didn't hint to her that I'm going to tell him. They responded and said, you're doing the right thing. I'm very sorry that your friend's actions are forcing you to lose your relationship with her. But she made this choice and she put you in this position. So whatever happens from here on out is not your fault. It's hers. A different comment says you literally warned her multiple times that you did not like being put in the middle and that you expect her to tell him. And then OOP responded and said, I never told her that I would tell him if she didn't. Sure, she can assume that, and she would definitely know it was me who spilled the beans when I tell him later, but I never explicitly said, hey, Kiana, if you don't tell Mason, I'm going to. Of course, she's probably thinking of an alibi or already has some story to plot against me if she thinks I'm going to tell him, but I never give her a heads up on what I was going to do in this situation. She thinks I'm staying out of it. Another comment says, Mason deserves the truth too. I've also been cheated on before, so I know how it feels. You know what you need to do. You didn't and won't ruin anything. That cat was out of the bag not due to your actions, but due to Kiana's actions. She has made her bed and must now lay in it. Best you can do is tell him, but whether or not he believes you is up to him. It's essentially her word versus yours. Do you even want to be friends with someone who would do this to their fiance? Oh, so we're all asking this. OP said, I do know that I need to do it. I need to figure out the best way to break him. I do have some text messages that I sent to her that night after she left and one she sent me at 5 a.m. I hope that will suffice. You're right. As I was typing out my post, I realized if she could do that to the man she loves, the one she wants to spend forever with, what has she done to me? That's what I'm saying. Not only that, but she deliberately went home with that guy after I saw them kiss and called her out on it. It wasn't a drunken mistake. Exactly. I mean, if you have text messages and you have proof, like, I'd tell him then. Like, the proof was what I was concerned about because it turns into he said, she said. I would still tell him. It just makes it so much more difficult when you don't have proof. So, mini update in the comments says, thanks for all the advice. I posted this during my lunch break and the office has been busy this afternoon, so I haven't had a chance to respond to a lot of the comments. I knew right after I posted that I needed to tell Mason, regardless of my relationship with Kiana. Kiana texted me while I was on my lunch asking me what the weight limit is for a carry-on because she thinks she needs to empty some stuff. I completely forgot that she was flying out for a conference this evening. I gave her a short response and called Mason, who picked up. I told him I needed to talk to him tonight, and he said he would meet me after work. He works a block away from me. I'm meeting him in about a half an hour, and I'm planning not to tell him anyways. It's horrible timing considering she won't be home until Saturday afternoon, but the clock is ticking and I need to be honest right away. I'll update in a few days. Ooh. Yeah, no, I think it's the perfect time he's home because it gives him a couple of days to kind of think about it before she comes back, which, great. Like, the more the merrier. It gives him time to come up with a plan. So I'm glad. I feel like that's a happy accident. So update 1 comes from 5 days later. It's April 5th, 2016. As soon as I sent my last post, I knew that I had to tell Mason about what was going on. It wasn't to clear my conscience. It was because I knew if I was in his position, I would want somebody to tell me too. He is still one of my good friends, and he didn't deserve that treatment, regardless of my relationship with Kiana. Kiana texted me while I was on my lunch and asked me what the weight limit was for a carry-on, and that's when I remembered she was going away. I responded with the weight limit. I called Mason, he picked up, and I asked him if we could see each other that night. He said we could meet at a pub in between both our offices after work. When I got off work and walked over to the pub, my stomach was in knots and my heart wouldn't stop beating because I was so nervous to break the news. I walked in and he was already waiting for me. He gave me a big hug and he looked so happy, which made it even worse. He asked about my day, I asked about his, etc. He then asked if Kiana mentioned anything about the ring. If she liked it, if she was happy. He must have seen the look on my face because he asked me what was wrong. I started by saying that what I'm about to tell him will change either his relationship with Kiana, his friendship with me, Kiana's friendship with me, or all of the above. He looked really confused, so I went on and told him about what happened Saturday. I didn't call Kiana any names. I didn't focus too much on her side of my side of the story. I just gave out an attempted objective narrative of what happened right up until when she called me about the engagement and I asked if she was going to tell him and she said no. I'm glad you kept it objective and you tried to stay calm. Like, that's the best you can do. He went pale for a moment and I asked him if he needed a minute. He told me that Kiana said she got really drunk and slept at my place Saturday night, which is why she didn't come home to him. Oh no. He asked to see the text I sent her, so I showed him the text thread and all the place calls I made to see if she was okay. I told him that if I were in his position, I would want to know because I care for him. I didn't want him to find out later on. He looked at me with almost no expression on his face and said, "Well, I guess I should get tested, huh?" Oh. I felt so bad for him and asked him if he needed anything. He told me he believed me and will talk to Kiana when she gets home. He said our friendship won't change and he's grateful that I told him before he ended up marrying her, but it still feels like crap that she accepted his proposal, is flaunting the engagement to the world, yet she was with someone 4 days prior. He said he wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't the first time something like this happened. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the way that she's being so nonchalant about this, I feel like this is not the first time either, buddy. But it's more fuel to, like, leave her. More motivation. I told him I had no idea if anything else had gone on, but if he needed anything else to just let me know. He said he'll talk to Kiana when she gets back on Saturday. This is when he started to get a little teary-eyed and said he had to go. He gave me a hug goodbye. I didn't hear from either of them until Saturday night around 11 p.m. when I got a call from Kiana asking if she could come to my place. She showed up 15 minutes later and was a crying mess. She said that he broke off the engagement because he logged onto her Facebook and found messages that she sent to some guys over the past year. Wow, so he didn't even tell her he knew. Wow. That's crazy. That was, I mean, smart, but dang. Oh, wait. Mason told her how I told him about last Saturday night, and she said she was too afraid to tell him because it was a mistake. Oh my God. She then asked why I told him, and I said if it happened to her, I would do the same thing, and if it were me in Mason's position, I would want to know too. Her face started turning red, and then she dropped a bomb on me. Oh no. Oh no. In my last post, I said that I knew how Mason felt because I was cheated on before. My last boyfriend, Dominic, and I were together for 3 years before he came to my place one drunken night out with fun dots on his neck. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube or not. Special bruises. I knew they weren't for me and immediately broke it off. He said he doesn't remember who they were from, which I knew was BS. Kiana said that she was the one that Dominic cheated on me with. Wow, okay, I thought this story was about a good boyfriend who got cheated on, but apparently there's a bad boyfriend named Dominic, which makes sense. Dom. Okay, buddy. That was like a too hot to handle reference, or was it perfect match? I don't know. He's good now. He's a chill guy, but for a second there, Don was not a chill guy, and he was kind of on my shit list. If you're deep on the reality TV show, you know what I'm talking about. If not, we're just gonna keep going. Which means that not only did he cheat on me with my best friend, but she cheated on Mason with him too. Oh, they were together then too. The plot thickens. I couldn't even look at her. I asked her to leave and not to contact me again. I've been questioning our friendship ever since. I got some texts and missed calls from her asking me to hear her out, calling me a B-word, then going back to kissing my butt. I have blocked her number and her profiles on all social media accounts. Mutual friend of ours have asked what happened and they say they're not surprised by her behavior. I heard from Mason on Monday night. He texted me saying it's over and I asked if he was okay. He told me he will be eventually and asked me to meet him for a coffee tonight when I'm off work. Apparently he took a few days off for personal reasons. So that's about it, Reddit. Turns out I was blind to her character this whole time. I'm incredibly hurt that my so-called best friend has never really been a best friend to me at all. I can't be left wondering what else has happened, but to move on and spend time with my friends who care about me and have proven so. I might have a mini update on here if anything else happens, or after I talk to Mason tonight. I'm still in shock by this whole ordeal. It makes me wonder if any of this would have come to light if I had not said anything to him. Thanks for all your advice, internet strangers. I really appreciate it. Relevant comments are, I'm so sorry that both you and Mason went through this mess. You are both far better off without Kiana. She sounds like a horrible partner and a terrible friend. I wish you the best of luck. Yeah, I mean, what did they say? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. It looks like Kiana was really doing that. I have had, like, in college, like, friends that I thought I was, like, best friends with that would literally try and, like, get with my boyfriend, like Josh. Or if I was, like, in a situation, like, anything like that. It's kind of sad how common, like, people like Kiana are. It's kind of icky, but I'm glad that you got out of that. And now you know what to look for when you're looking for red flags. Couple more relevant comments. Wow, what a horrible person. By the way, the reason she chose to tell you that about her and your ex now is because she wanted to hurt you. She's a horrible person, and I'm so glad you told her boyfriend. Because you did. He read her messages and found out how bad she truly was. And now you both know that she's been hurting him for a long time. 100%. And then multiple people asked if she wanted to date Mason, which is what I was thinking. Like, I'm surprised Kiana didn't say, you just want to date him and try to, like, spin it that way. But she said, LOL, no way. I care for him a lot, but this isn't a Jennifer Aniston-esque romantic comedy. There's one more mini update. Sorry if swelling is off, I'm tired and I'm mobile. I met Mason at a cafe after work. He didn't look very good, kind of disheveled, and his eyes were all puffy. I gave him a huge hug, and he said, well, that's not how I expected that weekend to go. He said he cut her off from everything, kicked her out of his house, got the ring back, changed all of his passwords and banking information. She tried contacting him too, but like me, he blocked her off everything. He asked if I saw her, and I told him what happened. He felt really bad for me that Dominic cheated on me with Kiana, and I reminded him that she also cheated on him with Dominic, and while I appreciate his sympathy, he's the one who needs support right now. Then he brought up the fact that I also lost my best friend. We talked about moving forward, and he said he will take some of the engagement ring money after he sells it and go on a nice vacation. Aww. We just talked about random things, and he thanked me for all of my support. Before we left, he gave me a big hug and said that telling him was a brave thing to do, and he appreciates the act of loyalty, and it means a lot to him. I said I'll be there for him whenever he needs anything. To many of you who are asking, I will not become FWB with him or even date him. Not now, at least. Yes, I care for him. Yes, the attraction is there. Oh, and we get along great. But I knew how devastated I was after Dominic cheated on me. You lose all trust, and dating again can be scary. It took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that not everyone out there is a liar or a cheater, and I had to do a lot of self-reflecting and become confident in myself. I want Mason to have the same opportunity. Jumping into something with him would not be wise, especially because he'll be feeling a lot of different emotions over the next little while. Maybe it could happen one day, maybe not, but I'm just going to do what I can to be the friend he needs right now. My 24 female partner, 24 male, doesn't do things unless I specifically ask him to. It's driving me insane. It's very interesting and kind of hilarious that a 24 female is saying this about a 24 male because it just, yeah, that sounds about right. So it was posted on Best of Redditor Updates 3 days ago, but was originally posted December 2nd, 2018. We have 2 children, daughter who will be 2 in January, and a 3-month-old boy. We've been together for 6 years. He works a lot, so I really don't mind doing most things around the house and our children. He has 2 main things he has kind of picked himself, which is the trash and the cleaning up of the kitchen most of the time. He does this when I'm bathing or getting the children ready for bed if he's home. If he's not home, then I do it. As I've stated, I do not mind doing mostly everything, but I would like some help. It's full on with 2 children under 2. I bet. I do the dinner, the housework, getting the kids sorted, but the issue is he just won't do things himself. I have to ask him to do baby's nappy if I'm busy doing something else. He won't just do it. I ask when he's home, but he does work a lot, 12-hour shifts, and he does have a few days off in between. I have to ask if he can make daughter something to eat if I'm too busy breastfeeding baby and can't do it myself. He won't just think, oh, it's lunchtime, she's going to be hungry. It's getting to the point that I need to ask him to do pretty much anything. I feel like this is an affliction that has touched every man on the planet. Like, I think that every girl listening to this is probably nodding their head because we all know a man like this. And I don't even have any advice. Like, I don't know either. When I was in high school, I had to take, well, I didn't have to take, I took family and marriage, and I went to a Christian school. So family and marriage was all about like having a family and leading them like with God, and like the man is the leader of the household or whatever. And I learned some stuff. But the teacher, I love her to death, and I still think about her sometimes. But she used to say, women don't have this, but men have something called a nothing box. And when they are sitting on the couch or they come home from work or they're doing anything, they just sit down and they go in their nothing box. And in their nothing box, they think of nothing. Women aren't capable of thinking of nothing. And maybe that's not true. Maybe there are women out there who can think of nothing, but I haven't ever been able to. My family, as in my mom, my grandma, my sister, none of us have ever been able to go into our nothing box. None of my friends. Maybe there's a woman who can do it, but every single person I've brought this up to, because it's been years and I've been asking, every single girl I've ever talked to has been like, yeah, no, that's correct. But then every single guy is like, yeah, no, I totally have a nothing box. You don't? So he's probably just going into his nothing box. Not that that's an excuse. It's not an excuse. He needs to be more observant and know when it's okay to go into his nothing box. But I do want you to know you are not alone. We all have this issue. Not my dog just like on top of me. Rip, come here. Over here. He's just... Okay. I've spoken to him about it, but he says it's not true and he does things he needs to do. I don't know if he has depression because he does show signs of it sometimes, but he says he feels fine. I would never self-diagnose someone, like, or are you, he's not self-diagnosing you. I would never diagnose someone if you're not like a doctor. But if there are signs that you're concerned about, I would encourage him to go to a doctor. But if he seems fine, like, what would be the reason why you think he's depressed? Just because he's kind of lazy sometimes? Like, I mean, I think everyone is struggling with disassociation right now just because we're all burnt out. A lot of us have undiagnosed ADHD. Lots of things going on there that contribute, and we're all tired, stressed, whatever it may be. So I feel like everybody's disassociating, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're depressed. It could definitely be a reason, and I encourage you to go to a doctor if you feel that way. But if that's like the only reason, I wouldn't necessarily try and diagnose him. To be honest, I just think it's a case of he works, he thinks he should chill out for the days he is off work, which is fine, but not all the time and not every single hour of the day. Any advice to try and get him to do more without me, quote unquote, nagging on him? I hate asking him to do stuff as I feel like I'm going on at him, but I need some help. There's so much I need to do in the day. When he's off work, I would like some more help. I've told him and we have had conversations, but I don't really know what to do next. Another issue is he doesn't spend too much time with the children. He'd rather just be doing something else. I'm either holding the baby or he's on his chair. My partner will hold him if I ask him to, which I don't think is right. I do think he's suffering with something, but I can't force him to get help. It sounds like he doesn't really understand his role, or he's sipping the Kool-Aid, so to speak, of like the older mindset of, because I'm the man of the household, like I contribute the funds, I don't need to do anything. And he doesn't realize like how hard it is to be a stay-at-home mom and that you do need help. Like he just doesn't realize that. So maybe a conversation about that and like kind of communicating, hey, I feel this way. Like, hey, it's okay that you're resting, but do you understand that when you are resting, you're putting more on me, which is hurting me? Like, maybe try it from that angle and say, like, I don't even know, like, I don't want to come off. Like, don't try and come off as, like, bratty, because I think that it could come off as bratty, but also I think just come at it from a point of, I need help and I'm not upset with you. I just don't think you realize how much I'm carrying. And when you choose not to take on some of that load, it puts more on top of me. I think that would be like the best way to go about it. But let's read the relevant and top comments. Commenter 1, we had this fight early on and it was resolved with lists. True. Write down a schedule of your day and have him write down his. Don't be surprised if he's shocked at the length of your list. Early on, I swear my husband thought the groceries just appeared. It somehow never occurred that I ran errands with the kids during the day. So we had our lists, and when we wrote down who was responsible for what. Ooh, maybe I'll try that. I'm getting ideas here too, because there's always room for improvement. Commenter 2, read and get him to read. The articles, she divorced me because I left dishes by the sink, and I do not help my wife. Also the comic, you should have asked. Parenting housework is the responsibility of both parents. When one is at work and one at home, the one at home does it. When they're both home, they both do it. It's not your job, and he helped. What kind of functioning adult has to be asked to change a baby? Parenting is full-time, essentially 24/7. He doesn't get a pass because he worked that day. Once in a while, take yourself off to a spa, a movie, grab lunch, whatever. Get a few hours out of the house for yourself and leave him with the kids. It'll restore your sanity a bit, and it'll force him into action, understanding what you do, if nothing else. This is unsustainable for a relationship and is a recipe for major resentment unless he steps up and does his share. 100%. I think that like the biggest issue is the lack of like communication, and that resentment does build up. Like if you're feeling some type of way, get on the same page, talk about it. And it may be a fight, but fighting it out is way better than just letting it build up. And like doing passive aggressive things. Talk to him, bring up the list, like say, what can I do that'll help you? Try to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, don't come at it defensive like you don't do enough. Just be like, hey, what can I do to help you to help me, basically? I don't know. Words are hard. We'll come up with something together. Someone in the comments, come up with a good paragraph that she can say to her husband. Even though this is from what, like 2016, 2019? I don't know what year we're in. OOP responded and said, thanks, I'll try and get him to read them. That's what I hate the most. He won't just get up and change the baby. Or if I'm changing the baby and he's been sick and I need new clothes, he won't just get me clothes for the baby when he can clearly see I need them. I'll have to ask him. I'm okay with not going out for a bit as I'm breastfeeding. He won't take a bottle. I've tried expressing. So the most I can leave baby for is about an hour. That hour is me going to get some stuff from the store, but with my daughter with me. I'm never actually alone to do anything, to be honest. That is not a way to live. Like, you have to recharge. Kids are incredible, but you, like, need your time. I do find myself really annoyed sometimes, and I do agree that I will find myself resenting him. 100%. There is an update from 2 months later. So, February 17th, 2019. Hey everyone, I wrote this post just over 2 months ago and I got a lot of advice and help that I thought I should update. I took a lot of your advice. I spoke to him about it again and said we need to come up with a solution because I can't go on with such little help anymore. We wrote a list as someone suggested. Sorry, I don't know how to link usernames. And I wrote what I do and he wrote what he did. My list was much bigger than his and he said he didn't realize how unequal the lists were and he thought we were doing pretty much the same thing. He thanked me for everything I did and said he'd change. We take turns in the nappy changes and the story times, and it's working very well. We now have certain things we both need to get done. He will bathe the kids on the nights he's home, so he gets to spend more one-on-one time. He'll read stories and is being much more involved. I still do a lot, which I'm fine with, the things stay-at-home parents do, but I want to stay home with the kids and do the majority as I feel that's what I'm happiest with doing. I'm just appreciative of the help he's now giving me. I don't feel alone anymore. I think a new baby and a toddler and working full-time, it was getting a bit on top of him, but we communicate better, and when he's feeling overwhelmed, I'll do more, and vice versa. I do think I have to ask him some things, but still, I feel like that only happens when we have had a bit of a busy or hard day. But we have more of an understanding of one another now. We also read the articles commenters recommended, and that is definitely in the back of our mind. I do feel I got into the habit of doing things myself and would bathe and read, etc., without really giving him that time, and now I'm encouraging him to do more things one-on-one with the kids. As I was always there when he was spending time with them, I'm trying to make it where he actually gets alone time with them as well, as I think that was making him feel like a secondary parent, and that makes sense. He has a much better bond with the kids now, and we're also much happier as a family and us as a couple. I like how you acknowledge like what you could do that would not only help yourself have more time, but also help him and his relationship so that he can feel more connected to them. So I like how you mentioned that in there and you're like, well, I realized I could also do this better too, because it's not just one parent or one person usually. Like both the people in the relationship usually need to give some to compromise and make it work. I might have missed things, so if you want to know anything else, I'll answer. I know this isn't the most amazing update and it's just a case of communicating better, but you've all helped me so much and I'm very appreciative. I love Reddit. Commenter number 1 said, I thought that was a pretty amazing update. Good for you. That is pretty awesome. Commenter 2 said, this is wonderful. I see you're still talking about the help he's now giving me. Remember, this is not about him helping you. This is about both of you developing and maintaining an equitable partnership as parents and as a couple. Being the stay-at-home parent does not mean all things parenting are your domain for him to help with, which I think you recognize, but it'll be useful to both of you if you watched for little ways where you may still have remnants of this mindset. You're moving in the right direction, and kudos to both of you for working on this. It's especially great that you're both working to improve his bond with the kids. And that's pretty much it. I think that is a great one to end on, honestly. Overall, like, I feel like this type of stuff is why so many relationships end. Like, so many people are not going to cheat and they try to take care of their partner, but they don't help out around the house, or the help is not equal, especially like when you're married. I feel like the logistics of day-to-day stuff is so like such a huge part of it. I'm not married yet, but I have heard a lot of people talk about like, yeah, no, literally it's just like the logistics of keeping the house clean. Like that's the only thing we fight over. I feel like for Josh and I, the only thing we ever fight over is like the house being dirty. Literally, that's it. So I'm glad that you guys found a system that works, because I feel like that is like half the battle, and I'm really proud of you guys. You're still young, like 24. You already got it down and you're 24. That's awesome. Not that you're not an adult. Like you should be able to be like organized, but the fact that you're 24 and able to communicate this well is pretty impressive, because I feel like in today's day and age, it's just not like that as often. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I upload every single Sunday and sometimes, hopefully, most Wednesdays. But if you like Reddit stories or stories in general, we're the place to be. Go ahead and hit that subscribe, like, comment. You know the drill. We've talked about it multiple times. Free would mean the world to me. You know it all. But I'll catch you guys on Sunday with a whole new podcast episode. Bye, guys. Love you.